Elisabeth Philippine Marie-Hélène was born in Versailles on the 3rd of May 1764, on the day of the Holy Cross. She was the 8th and last child of the Dauphin Louis Ferdinand and his second wife, Marie-Joseph de Saxe. Madame Elisabeth was baptized the day she was born by Monseigneur de la Roche-Aymon, the Archbishop of Reims and Great Chaplain of France. When she was still very young, she was affected by the loss of her parents. Her father died at the age of 36, when she was hardly 20 months, on the 20th of December, 1765. 15 months later, her mother died on March 15th, 1767, when she was only 3. In memory of her parents, her mother left her a relic of the True Cross in a shrine of crystal and a Virgin Mary made of ivory. In May 1770, she and her sister welcomed the bride-to-be of her brother Louis Auguste, Marie Antoinette of Austria. Very soon, the future Queen of France and Princess Elisabeth became quite friendly. Historians even said that the future queen wrote to her mother saying Elisabeth was a delightful child, showing spirit, character, and grace. Marie Antoinette always called Louis XVI's last sister, my sister Elisabeth, and she really looked after the orphan princess. Later on, Madame Elisabeth attended most lovingly to the education of her nephews, the children of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. On the 11th of August 1775, Madame Elisabeth was confirmed by Bishop Armand de Roquelaure. She grew in faith and at the same time grew her love for God and for France. She spent more and more time in prayer and contemplation. She was expected to marry, as it is usual for a princess, like her sister Madame Clotilde, but she was not interested. Her heart belonged to God and to France, her two great loves, and she did not wish to become the queen of another country, nor leave her beloved homeland. As she grew up, many thought Elisabeth could have entered into religion, like her Aunt Louise, due to her charisma and piety. Her brother Louis XVI was not keen on this choice, so he let her grow up and decide for herself when she came of age at 25. Elizabeth remained steady in her love for France and did not wish to enter a convent. She was happy to live with piety and devotion for God, along with her country folk. She was known as Good Madame Elisabeth, and still is nowadays. Several events due to the complex political situation during the 18th century, the behavior of the young princes and princesses, who were adults now, and influenced by the new ideas and a wish for change, the access to the throne of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette after Louis XV's sudden death, led the royal family to be divided more or less openly. Madame Elisabeth was the only one to stand firmly by the side of her brother Louis XVI, thinking of the future of France and facing the difficult position of the monarchy. The king and his sister began to perceive the surrounding discontent and danger which existed between the unsatisfied nobility due to Jansenists, Protestant, reactionary currents, and the new ideas of enlightened despotism. She didn't want to leave France and made the firm decision to remain near her brother and family. During the 5th and 6th of October 1789, she shared their dangers and uncertainties. The crowd of men and women, full of hatred against God, attacked the peaceful castle of Versailles. Under the pressure of those rebels, Madame Elisabeth had to give up her dear Versailles and moved to Paris with the royal family, where they settled in the Palais des Tuileries. From this moment, she became the moral support of her beloved brother, Louis XVI, and of the Queen. Her virtues of faith, strength, and temperance appear clearly in these tragic times and show in her devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Surely many memories came back to mind then: King Clovis and the holy ampulla of the holy oil, the pious Saint Louis, Louis XIV's decision to move to Versailles after the insurrection of the Fronde. In amongst all those new modern ideas and attitudes where God was more and more absent. This is why, on February the 10th, 1790, which is the date anniversary of the vow Louis XIII took to dedicate the Kingdom of France to the Immaculate Heart of the Most Holy Virgin Mary and proclaim her the patroness of France, Madame Elisabeth had the idea that Louis XVI should renew that vow in the Cathedral Notre-Dame de Paris. There would be a Mass dedicated to the Sacred Heart, during which she conceived the idea of founding an association of prayers and selflessness for the protection of France. Several lady friends joined her to start this mission of spreading the cult of the Sacred Heart and the Immaculate Heart of Mary. She had an ex voto made of 2 hearts of pure gold on which was engraved the Church of France, the royal family. She never failed to show, through her ideas, attitudes, and actions, the sacred aspect of the monarchy and the great responsibility the king had on his subjects by divine right. The political situation was quite confused. A spirit of revolt was running through the streets. Scenes of unusual violence appeared in various parts of Paris. She did not agree with the new approaches and wishes of political reformations and rejected quite firmly all decisions made by the Assemblée Constituante. Her position was quite firm and led her to take an active part and declare that the Assemblée Constituante made a big mistake when they voted for the civil constitution of the clergy on the 12th of July 1790, which included confiscating the clergy's possessions, the dissolution of all religious orders, the creation of a dissident lay church far removed from Rome and from the Holy Father. Her brother the king tried to find a solution, but his weakened position didn't allow him to reconcile things and keep France united. This is why Pope Pie VI protested against the civil constitution of the clergy and expelled all priests from the Roman Catholic and Apostolic Church who had been sworn in by this constitution. On June the 20th, 1792, the king found himself face to face with rebels who considered him as their worst enemy. During this first invasion and sack of the Tuileries, Madame Elisabeth risked her life pretending she was Marie Antoinette, against whom there was so much hatred amongst the people. 2 months later, on August the 10th, 1792, the rebels took over the Tuileries. Madame Elisabeth wrote letters to her brother, the Comte d'Artois, relating the awful goings-on in Paris and asking him to get help from the foreign monarchies. And although events broke out in the most rapid and violent manner, her letters remained without answer. The royal family was safe, for they found refuge in the buildings of the Legislative Assembly, but from then on they became prisoners of the Commune of Paris. Madame Elisabeth had several opportunities to leave France. The king himself wished her to go along with her aunts, but she decided to stay with her brother and volunteered to become a prisoner of the Commune de Paris and entered the Tower of the Temple on the 13th of August, 1792. Every day she said her prayer to the Sacred Heart, as it was said in her family. Louis XVI was the first to go on trial. Thanks to her, her confessor, Father Edgeworth de Firmont, was able to assist her brother. It was he who celebrated the king's last Mass, the only one that took place in the Tower of the Temple. He heard his confession and led him to the scaffold. It was thanks to his sister that Louis XVI, during his last moments, found the help of a Catholic priest who had remained loyal to the cause of the kingdom of Christ. The beheading of the king meant the beheading of the monarchy. Elisabeth continued to support and heal the family and comfort her poor sister-in-law. She always managed to maintain her position as daughter of France. She spent all her energy and neglected her health. Madame de Bombelle wrote on April the 22nd, 1793, "She is frightfully thin, but her religion keeps her going." She was the comforting angel of the Queen and the children. She even took care of Madame Tison, who gave her away on several occasions. She became her niece's guardian angel during this dark period that started on the 2nd of August 1793, when the Queen left for the Conciergerie. Madame Elisabeth did not know about her execution until she herself reached the place on the 9th of May 1794. Her trial had been prepared during the regime of the Terror. She was not even allowed to speak to her lawyer, Chauveau-Lagarde, and was sentenced to death. She belonged to a group of 25 people whom she helped prepare to face their death. Witnesses of that scene agree to say that when the cart drove past, instead of shouting and yelling, the crowd stopped and stared at the princess. She rose in the cart with her companions around her and said, "Today we shall all be in heaven through the grace of God." Each in turn bowed to her, the women kissed her, the men knelt before her, while she recited the De Profundis. And then she went to the scaffold with modesty and dignity. It is recorded that as she received the fatal blow, a lovely smell of roses spread over the place Louis XV, then called Place de la Révolution. She was buried in the pauper's grave, the Errancy Cemetery, now disappeared. Her body was never found nor identified. Thus, Madame Elisabeth gave her life for her family. She was only 30, and her unfailing faith in God and her country remained until the end.